In this video, we are going to discuss adding a transacting mid under an existing merchant account. So in the portal, I am at Portfolio Management, Manage Merchants, and just for how I got to this page, I selected All and then Search. And when I choose All, it will show me the transacting mids and the merchant accounts. Now, going to our diagram that we viewed in the past, I'm a portfolio, and what I'm looking to do in this video is to add a transacting mid, an additional transacting mid under an existing merchant account. Right? This diagram is more of a diagram where the merchant account belongs to the merchant, and in this case I'm looking to add additional transacting mids under a certain account or a different account. Now, some portfolios out there may have one generic or minimal merchant accounts that the portfolio is using for their purposes, whether it be for decision manager, tokenization, or even segregated for regional purposes. But effectively, the merchant account doesn't belong to the merchant. So in this case, especially if you're migrated over from our legacy boarding platform, you're going to want to ensure that if you're adding merchants under a specific merchant account, this is the video that you're going to be wanting to watch and ensure that you take note of, because you're going to want to be adding your new merchants under an existing merchant account. Right? So going back to our UI. So in this case, I will again be adding merchant. Now in our previous video, we chose board new merchant account. Now in this one, I'm going to be adding to an existing account because I'm adding an additional transacting mid to an existing merchant account. Here is where I search for that merchant account. So in my case, I'm going to search for the the merchant account called Keith's Coffee. But again, in some of the portfolios cases where you have a generic decision manager account or a generic account used for tokenization or a generic account used for regional purposes, you'll want to be searching for that merchant account to be boarding your mids under. If you create a net new merchant account and you intended to have it under a generic account for, again, decision management, tokenization, or regional purposes, you'll have to get that transacting mid moved. So you want to make sure that you board your transacting mids under the right account, right? So again, one more time looking at that video, here is that generic merchant account. You want to be searching for that and adding your transacting mids in there. Or if you're having more of a traditional portfolio where the merchant account belongs to the merchant, and you have several, then you'll be looking for the merchant account, right? So keep that in mind. So in mine, I'm looking for a traditional merchant account where the merchant owns the merchant account, and I chose Keith's Coffee. And I'm going to choose next. And as I've told you in previous videos, we're going to skip hierarchy details because we all get 3 levels of hierarchy. And I'm going to add transacting organ products. Now here, this page here will be very similar to our initial boarding page, but again, we're only adding the transacting mid under the existing merchant account. Here again, I will add tokenization. I'll use my default. I'll add card processing. I'll configure that because it's going to require configuration. My default template will pop up, and I will be leveraging that default template. But again, keep in mind, like before, I could hit the minus sign to pick a secondary or additional template or other template than the default. Here I will just add my mid and TID. And again, my currency is automatically selected because it's on my template tab. I won't change anything in this video here. I'm just going to tick apply. So it really enforces the fact that I just added the mid and the TID. I will add the invoicing product. I will add the payment authentication product. That'll ask me to configure. Here I'll click enable on Visa and MasterCard. I'll enter my mid and TID. My processing mid only. I'll click save. In this video, I'll choose Fraud Management Essentials for my product. I'll look at the default configuration. And here you can see my products were added successfully. Again, my payer authentication is pending, but if we continue working with this merchant, I expect that product to be fully configured and boarded because we get immediate boarding back from our partner Cardinal. And there it is, fully configured and boarded. Now if we go out, and here is the transacting mid that we just added. I'll just take a copy of that. Let's take a look at that hierarchy now. Now here I'm going to search for the organization ID, the transacting mid, and I'm going to search for that. And there it comes up, live as we just boarded it. Now what I want to do is I want to see to ensure that I put it under the right account, and I also want to see if there's any other mids under that account. So I'm going to view the organization hierarchy, and then by it being bolded, that gets to show me that that is the transacting mid, and I see that it's under the account that I desired, but I can also see how many other transacting mids are under this account. And here I can see several other transacting mids underneath this account as well. Some live, some test. And that is me adding an additional transacting mid under an existing account.